Hi everybody, this is Maxine Taylor with yet another edition of my Trumpology report. Today is MLK Day, and over the weekend, Representative John Lewis made a statement to the press. He said that he did not consider Donald Trump to be a legitimate president in view of the hacking by Russia, which opened the door for that presidency to take place. And here we are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. John Lewis was one of his close supporters and followers. He is a man who has marched for truth, for integrity, for honor, for equality. And so this was quite a statement, and I thought it might be very timely, to look, since I do not have his birth time. Once again, I don't have a birth time for John Lewis, but we do have an accurate birth time for Trump. So let's look and see the effect that John Lewis has on the incoming president. And remember, today is Monday, the inauguration is Friday. It's very, very close. So here is the comparison between the two charts. I'm going to start up here with this beautiful ninth house. The ninth house is the house of truth, of honesty. It is the higher mind. And when somebody's planets, John Lewis's planets, fall, three of them, and the South Node fall in the ninth house, this opens up Trump's mind to see the big picture, to see options, to see possibilities that were not visible early on. This is the house of higher education, and it is the house of long distance travel. It deals with foreigners. And so here we have John Lewis's South Node, which is the karmic tie from the past. So he and Trump had some form of karmic tie in some prior lifetime or lifetimes that dealt with truth, that dealt with people of other nationalities. And so here we have the same thing repeated. Lewis's Saturn, which makes things tangible and practical and truthful and creates structure, is in Trump's ninth house. And this is a very traditional way of looking at truth and the law. So he can help Trump see a bigger picture, but also it may be that he triggers a certain resistance because that's Saturn in Trump. John Lewis's Mars is in the ninth house. And when wherever somebody's Mars is in your chart, that's what the area where they galvanize you into action. Well, this whole house up here is communication. And so with Mars triggered, with John Lewis's Mars triggering Trump's ninth house, Trump will fight for his principles. He will fight for his beliefs. And he does. He fights back. We know that Trump has Mars, the planet of war, the planet of anger, the planet of passion, sitting right behind his ascendant. And so he's a fighter. He takes pride in that. Well, if you want peace, peace doesn't come through war. Peace comes through love. That's just me speaking. So we've got this John Lewis's Mars up there in Trump's ninth house, really rallying the troops, really saying, okay, I'm going to take a stand for my beliefs. And then John Lewis's Uranus, the planet of rebellion, wow, really fires up Trump's big picture, the way he looks at things, and sits on the top of his chart, which is the midheaven, and affects his public image. And so John Lewis triggered a rebellious action in Donald Trump. He always will. And I'm sure because the North Node is involved in this, that this is a holdover from a past incarnation. As I said, if you are not familiar with that, just know that Trump's ninth house of the big picture is triggered by John Lewis's Saturn, which is take your responsibility, build a structure. His Mars, which is fight for what you believe, and his Uranus, which says rebel against whatever. Now, Lewis's Pluto, the planet of control, sits on Trump's Pluto, planet of control. And with Pluto in Trump's 12th house, this is behind the scenes control. And let us keep in mind, those of us who study astrology know this. Pluto is the planet of retribution as well. It's vengeance. It rules Scorpio. And so there, from chart to chart, any of the charts that I've done on any of the people interacting with Trump, if Trump's Pluto is triggered, it's vengeance. If their Pluto is triggered, it's I'll get you back. It's the don't get angry, get even. And so many of the charts I've looked at, because they're close in age to Trump, their Plutos are on each other, and so they know how to get back. Very, very interesting. We do not have a birth time for John Lewis, so we're not sure where his moon is, but it too, more than likely, sits on Trump's Pluto. I think that's fascinating. Now, let's move down here to the house of money and values. And John Lewis's Neptune, dreams, the visions of sugar plums, dreams, inspiration, or washing away of what is, sits on Trump's Jupiter. So that could there be an expense involved in a relationship between the two of them? Yes. Could it mean that John Lewis can inspire Trump on how to make money simply because of their interaction? Absolutely. Now, Lewis's North Node, which is the area of greatest success in our chart, and that's the old-timey interpretation. There are many things that indicate success, but traditionally the North Node is that area of achievement that indicates success in this lifetime. It's on Trump's third house, and so John Lewis triggers more communication, more talking from Trump. How interesting. Lewis's Sun and Mercury are in Trump's 7th house of open enemies, of the known enemy, the enemy we know, rather than the behind-the-scenes enemies, which are the hidden enemies, which are the 12th house. With John Lewis's Sun in Trump's 7th house, he actually opens the door for Trump to be able to communicate one-on-one with other people. And the people that John Lewis represent would be a really good group for Trump to be able to reach. Mercury, with the Sun, I want to go back to the traditional interpretation. The Sun is the center of our life. And so other people, the one-on-one relationship, becomes the center of Trump's life when he deals with Lewis. Now, Mercury, communication, the conscious mind, is sitting in that 7th house of the one-on-one relationship. And so in any relationship that Trump has with John Lewis, there's going to be talking, communicating, and there could be, with a Sun there, a positive one-on-one relationship. The potential is there. Okay, now look at this 8th house. This is the house of secrets. The 8th house deals with other people's money, other people's values, and with Jupiter, the great benefic, and Venus, the lesser benefic. Both represent money, both represent blessings. If Trump were to deal with Lewis in a financial way, it could very well be that there could be financial benefit from it. That's number one. Number two, the 8th house, I said, is the house of secrets. And so what John Lewis triggers in Trump is lots of secrets, but blessings from looking at them because the two benefics are there. Also, whatever is in the 8th house is going to be transformed in this lifetime. And so, although it is John Lewis's planets that are in Trump's 8th house, truth and beauty, love, that can be transformed Lewis can help Trump transform that in this lifetime. And I know that may be a little esoteric for people, but it's really quite lovely. Now, on a mundane level, as I said, John Lewis can help Trump create more money in joint financial ventures. And I think that it would be probably a smart idea to look into that. I'm just saying. So, here we are, the night of MLK's birthday, and this is yet another chapter in my Trumpology report, and Trump hasn't even taken office yet. As I mentioned, when I started this Trumpology report, I figured I'd do maybe one report a week. As you know, I'm doing on an average of 1 to 2 reports every day. And he's not even had his inauguration yet. So I feel like I'm going to be sharing this with you for quite a while. So join me again next time when once again I present all things Trump, the people and the situations that he is involved with. So before I sign off, let me wish all of you a wonderful week. Join me again, and may the stars shine brightly on the United States of America.